I'm Myke Shrews.
And I'm Tivis.
And you're listening to
The Munster Cast.
Episode 47. No. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I am, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend Tivis. Tivis, how you doing today, my man?
It's a tired morning.
Yes, it is. Yes, that it is. Real quick, everybody, you can find the Munster Cast at TheMunsterCast.com. There you can find all of our content, videos, audio, and articles, and all that fun stuff, and even links to our social media, I believe, are on the website. So go over there to TheMunsterCast.com. You can also find us, too, if you would like, on all social media platforms, via the Munster Cast. That is Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitter. And you can also see our pretty ugly faces on the Munster Cast YouTube channel. You can swing on over there and check us out and see what we look like. I am wearing my Herman bolts today, by the way. See? Yeah. Can't see them that well because I'm wearing a black shirt too. This is how it blends in when my neck is bent down with my fat ass. So I think that's it. That's all I really have. Oh, you can also go to themunstercast.com/merch shop and pick up some awesome Munsters merch shirts that we made specifically for you guys, the MunsterCast audience and Munster fans alike. I know several people who have shown me some photos. Maybe I'll get those photos up on Instagram and stuff of them wearing their shirts and all that. So it's pretty cool to see you guys out there wearing them and having your families wearing them and all that fun stuff. So definitely.
And don't forget, we also have a Patreon, which is basically just our a tip jar. Yep. I'm fine, I swear.
Had a stroke right there.
You could just chuck in a buck, whatever or leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice if they allow it. Rate us, tell a friend. All that stuff is more important to us because it helps us a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Just go over there, leave us a review, leave us thumbs up, stars, whatever the heck they allow you to do. Also, go over to I can't breathe. Go over to YouTube and do the same, like, follow, subscribe, whatever, hit the bell icon, all that fun stuff. For some reason, if you hit the bell icon, you do get notified of our videos, but also I think it helps the algorithm say, oh, hey, people actually like this stuff. So maybe we should, push it up in the algorithm or whatnot.
YouTube algorithm. That's a whole episode on.
Yeah. As far as the Patreon goes too, guys, if you listened last week, we did talk about Mockingbird Lane, the failed 2012 TV pilot. We have the whole thing up in our Discord, which can access Discord through Patreon as well. So that's another added bonus if you want to just toss in a little tip and stuff like that. So you can access the Discord for whatever it is. I don't even remember what all that stuff is set up as. Anyways, you can also swing on over. I know October is over finally, but you can also swing on over to themunstercast.com/remindmag and still pick up your Remind Magazine Munsters edition of the magazine. So grab a copy. We don't get paid for this. We just want people to be able to get it, especially the collectors out there for the Munster fans and everything else like that.
Yeah, it's got some great interviews in it and stuff that's, not goes beyond the Munsters. Like it's got a lot of stuff that you will enjoy.
Definitely has some cool stuff in it. I just got this month's, and it's like, I believe it's all Western is this month's edition, but it's I was like, wait, you guys are doing a Western for like Thanksgiving? That's okay.
Cowboys versus Native Americans. Classic.
And then you can also, if you have not done so yet, if you guys would like to purchase Marineland Carnival, go over to themunstercast.com/Marineland Carnival. Definitely worth a pickup for our audience of fans out there for Munsters content. Just something great to have in the collection in general,
Yeah.
as a Munsters fan. And then finally, today we are going to be talking about what, Tivis? Do you remember?
Come the Munsters.
Yeah, here come the Munsters. And if you guys do not have this, because it is a little tricky to find, you gotta get like the UK version. I think it's like a
Yeah, that's
Region
what
2
we
disc.
got.
So you can swing on over to the MunsterCast.com/Here Come the Munsters, and you can pick up a copy of it on DVD there. It is the Region 2, so I used my Xbox to play it, so it didn't matter at all.
You're going to need a region-free DVD player or a Blu-ray player, which they're more and more common as time goes on. I don't understand why we still region lock this shit.
They're crazy. But if you have like a PS4, PS5, and Xbox One at least, you can watch these movies. It doesn't matter. So, and that's how we watch most of our hard media stuff.
My PlayStation is my DVD player.
Yeah. That's literally why we bought an Xbox. Like, we were not an Xbox household, but we bought like the 4K TV, and they're like, well, you need a 4K player. And I looked at the pricing at the time, and I was like, it's just a better deal to buy the Xbox.
More bang for your buck.
Right.
Especially with kids.
I was like, we don't watch you can see the collection behind me. I love my movies and love the DVDs, but a lot of the times it's like what's on streaming. So it's not like we're utilizing the Xbox a massive amount of the time. So, anyways, it's not getting a lot of wear and tear, which is awesome. So we're making it last longer. So we'll say that. But yeah, definitely go over there to themunstercast.com/Here Come the Munsters, and order a copy of that today if you have not picked one up. If you're even interested in it, I'm not going to force it down anyone's throats. So, but we are about to talk about it. So if you have not watched it yet and you want to before we spoil it, definitely go and watch it, and then come back and listen to us. I definitely recommend it. I think you can order it on Prime delivery through our link, so it's 2-day shipping. Then you can come back and you still listen to us by the end of the week.
All right, so should we jump into this, because there's a lot to talk about before we even get to the movie. Have you seen this cast list?
Oh yeah, I know most of the cast members, but I also do want to set up before to preface this entire thing before we talk about references and all that stuff. This did come out after the Munsters Today.
Yes.
TV show. We have not watched that yet. So any references from that show in the movie, we won't be able to talk about at the moment.
No.
So I just want to let people know that, in case there are people out there who have watched the Munsters Today and are like, oh yeah, they did this. We don't know that, so we're just going based on the previous knowledge that we've already talked about throughout the rest of the movies and show that we have seen. So, all right, Tivis, take it away.
All right. So here come the Munsters. As you can see on the screen, if you're watching the video, it released October 31st, 1995. It was written by Bill Prady, Jim Fisher, and Jim Stahl. Is that how you pronounce that? Stahl. Whatever. Bill.
Yeah.
Bill wrote the Star Trek 30 Years and Beyond, one episode of Voyager, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, which, if you don't know that is like one of those, you sit down in the virtual movie theater, like I believe it was at Disney. Like a little ride as you're watching a movie and it bounces you around. He did 55 episodes of Dharma and Greg, 5 episodes of Big Bang Theory, which he also helped create. And that's a show that my wife and I really enjoyed. So I'm going to mention it. Jim Fisher and Jim Stahl Have been a duo for many years. Both of them wrote 4 episodes of Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, which they helped create.
Oh man, I have that show.
I know. That's why I brought it up. 5 episodes of Young Hercules, which I really enjoyed, and the 2000 movie Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, that cartoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Jim Stahl was also an actor. He played Nelson Flavor in Mork and Mindy, and he also voiced Santa in that cartoon, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It was directed by Robert Ginty. He directed 4 episodes of Lois and Clark, 2 episodes of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and 1 episode each for Xena and Charmed. He played the first Lieutenant Thomas Joseph Willie, or TJ, in 29 episodes of Black Sheep Squadron. Thomas Craig Anderson in 22 episodes of The Paper Chase. He also wrote for the 89 The Bounty Hunter, the 93 Shoot Fighter, Fight to the Death, 94 Woman of Desire, and the 94 TV movie Day of Reckoning. So he is familiar with TV content. Myke has left me, if you're wondering why he got all quiet. So I wonder if I should pad this out till I get to the cast. I don't have to. He's back. Yeah, so he's no stranger to TV movies or just movies in general. All right, let's get to the cast now, because cast is incredible.
Oh yeah.
First off, we got Edward Herman as Herman Munster.
You think they did that on purpose?
Yeah, it might have helped him. That's you
Right.
Can't rule it out. Richard Palmer, he played Richard Palmer in the 75 show Beacon Hill.
Mhm.
He was Max in the 87 movie The Lost Boys. He was Richie Rich in the 94 Richie Rich movie.
No, he was Richie Rich's dad.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the dad.
I swear IMDb told me he was Richie Rich.
Macaulay Culkin was Richie Rich.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was his dad also Richie Rich?
Richard Rich, maybe?
Maybe.
Just keep going. I'll look that one.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. He was also Harrison Beecher in 6 episodes of Oz, which my grandpa loved that show. I can never get into it.
It's Richard Rich, because his name's
Rich, okay.
Richard Rich, yeah.
I was half asleep writing these, so. He also played Richard Gilmore in Gilmore Girls, which was a hugely popular show I never watched.
He's been in so many good movies I loved, because I liked Richie Rich. My Boyfriend's Back, I like that. Because he plays the dad, I believe it was.
Many of these people have been in things that I really love and want to mention. I just can't because of time.
Right.
If there was anything to check out the IMDb to the cast to, it's this. It's got to be because this movie was made in our lifetime. So
yeah.
We got Veronica Hamill as Lily Munster, and she played Joyce Davenport in Hill Street Blues, which ran from 81 to 87. Robert Moore as Grandpa. Is it Moore or Moores?
Moores.
All right. You may recognize his voice as Jack Frost from the Rankin and Bass 79 Jack Frost. Gotta mention that. He was various voices in Pro Stars, which again, if you missed last week, I was on Keith's. That was great, wasn't it? He did Pro Stars. Go check that out. Bertram Cooper in Mad Men. He also voiced Santa Claus in Teen Titan Go. Got to get the Christmas references in. It's Christmas season already. Home Depot
no, it's not.
Christmas out at October 1st.
It's not. It's still Halloween season.
No, it's Thanksgiving season.
It's still Halloween season
in America. Christine Taylor.
Christine Taylor?
Yeah,
You mean
Christine
Marsha Brady? Like,
as Marilyn, which she played Melody in Hey Dude, which ran from 89 to 81. Marsha Brady in the 96 A Very Brady sequel.
Marsha.
Kate Veach in Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, and Sally Atwell in 11 episodes of
Look,
Arrested Development.
if you haven't seen Christine Taylor in anything, then you haven't watched any of the comedy movies from the last like 3 decades or 2 decades or whatever. I don't even know how many decades I've been alive now. Shit. Anyways, from the 90s and 2000s for sure, because she did a lot of stuff with like Adam Sandler's crew, like not Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller stuff. They're all the same people.
Do you want to help me?
I swear Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller are the same person.
I think a lot of people will disagree with that. But
They're the same.
do you want to help me out with Eddie's name, or you want me to struggle with it?
All right, Eddie's name. Well, first of all, I just want to say it was really cool to see Christine Taylor do this as it's an old show turned into a movie, and then she also was Marsha Brady as well, which is
following
pretty cool.
year, yeah.
Well, she did both of the Brady Bunch movies from the 90s. She was Marsha in both of them.
Yeah, but that came out the year after this.
Yeah.
Right? Was this? No. Yeah, this came out in 95.
95, yeah. So Eddie Munster, Matthew Boddocks?
Oh, boy.
Botushis?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, Matthew.
This was his second acting credit listed. He played Dave in 8 episodes of Will and Grace and Chris in 3 episodes of The Middle, which I love The Middle.
Mm-hmm.
For a show that ran so long, it's talked about so little. Troy Evans as Detective.
Hold on. Go back to this man.
Matthew?
Here.
Okay.
Matthew.
Eddie.
The Eddie Munster for this film. 1, Ohio, so awesome.
We're both natives.
He was in Goosebumps, Terror Tower, A Night in Terror Tower. I love that one because I have it on VHS still. He did that right after he did Here Come the Munsters, but there was one I saw. Where did it go? On here. He did Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain with Hulk Hogan. That's awesome. He was Rocky. I didn't even notice that. That's really dope. That's the worst Three Ninjas movie, by the way.
I'll have to take your word for it.
All right, go on. Detective Wachowski.
Troy Evans is Detective Wachowski. He played Detective Charlie in Halloween 5, which you just watched all those, and Detective Beryl Johnson in 59 episodes of Bosch, which ran from 2014 to 2021. I somehow missed that show entirely.
Mm-hmm. I swear, if you don't say the movie that I know him from for sure,
I'm not going to because that's all I have. So go ahead.
Are you kidding me, Tivis?
I told you I was trying to condense this as much as I can.
Tivis. He's from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh, no. Yeah, I just completely missed that one. Otherwise, I would have listed it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We have...
Oh, he was also in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
A lot of these people were in that show. Joel Brooks as Larry Walker. You may know him from Season 1, Episode 9 of Deep Space Nine, playing Fallow. Your mouth just dropped. What'd you see?
Oh, I didn't know that the Troy Evans was in The Frighteners, which is like one of my favorite movies. Sorry. Joel Brooks, yes. Larry Walker. Go ahead.
That's all I got for him.
Okay.
Sean O'Brien as Detective Cartwell. He played Bill Blackham in 13 episodes of Persons Unknown, which was in 2010, and Ron Donahue in 21 episodes of The Middle. You got anything for him? I told you these people's list, there's too much. I had to condense it.
It's fine. Let's just go on.
Mary Oranov as Mrs. Dimwitty, which I reference her several times as just Karen in my notes, just a heads up.
Now, you know, Karen is just the polite way of calling someone a bitch. Like, it's a very derogatory term. Can we get past that? We are a better people. We can create better words than demeaning an entire like population of people named Karen. Thank you. Anyways,
Okay, we'll call him Kathy after my aunt then.
that's
So
my TED talk for the day.
she will be back, actually, believe it or not. Her character returns. But
Does she?
yes, she plays Nancy Ulrich in the 2019 TV short Frankenstein Monsters Monster Frankenstein, which
Okay.
is a fun little thing I saw.
Okay.
Jeff
Trakta?
Trakta as
Trakta?
Brent Jekyll.
He didn't do much.
Well, I got Thorne Forrester in 649 episodes of The Bold and Beautiful.
Okay. He also was a voice for Red Dead Redemption 2, the
Yes, he
famous
was.
video game.
Max
Grodenchik?
Grodenchik as Norman. Now, he's been in Next Generation twice. Once as Sovak in season 3, episodes 19, and Par Lenore in season 5, episode 21. Mm-hmm. But he also did 39 or 37 episodes of Deep Space Nine. Many roles, or many of them playing Rom.
Mm-hmm. He also did a lot of voice work for some of the games.
Yeah.
For
Coming
Star
back
Trek.
as Rom quite a few times.
And Tales from the Crypt, he was in there, of course. I mean, a lot of these people were into a lot of these things.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned Tales of the Crypt. I'll get to that before we get started.
Okay. And he was also in The Rocketeer. We can't not mention The Rocketeer when it comes up into our stratosphere. See what I did there?
We got Judy Gold as Elsa. This is her first time acting credit was in an episode of Roseanne. I wanted to mention that because Roseanne.
Yeah.
Gloria, she played Gloria Schertzer in 18 episodes of American Girl.
Yeah.
From 94 to 95, and that was her second acting credit. And this movie is her third acting credit, so she is still fairly new to at least the being noticed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't really have a big part either in this, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Miss
Amanda,
Pearl?
Yeah, Amanda Beers as Miss Pearl. She directed 31 episodes of Married with Children, 21 episodes of Mad TV, including the John Cena episode, and played Marcy in 259 episodes of Married with Children. So if you do not recognize her,
you're a bad 90s person.
Yeah.
And 80s, because I think Married with Children started in the 80s, actually.
It did, yeah.
It went for like 10 years, didn't it?
87, because I'm watching season 1 in my sitcom.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, it's Marcy.
Yeah. We have Erwin Keyes as the One-Eyed Man. I don't have anything for him. Jim Fisher as Villager. Now, you may recognize that name. He was one of the writers. All 3 writers appear in this movie. Scotch Ellis Loring as the flight attendant.
Wait. Erwin Keyes is the One-Eyed Man.
Yeah.
Like the big dude from the beginning of the movie?
Couldn't tell you.
He's like a big, like, all right, he does a lot of horror stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sure you would recognize him.
He was also in, for a lot of people, too, it was, what was it? Happy Gilmore. He's the guy who Happy shoots in the head with a nail gun.
Yes, all right.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, he's a really big. He did a lot of like horror films and stuff too. Of course,
Yeah.
just with his look alone, you could tell like that's where they were going to put him. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Scotch Ellis, Loring as the flight attendant. I'm sure you would recognize a few things he was in. I unfortunately haven't seen any of them. So,
okay. Well, Fight Club. You
yeah,
haven't
well,
seen
that's
Fight Club?
forgettable movie for me. I don't like that
Oh,
one.
you're a forgettable person too. Come on now.
That explains a
Malcolm in the
lot with the
Middle.
show.
Nothing really. You didn't
I didn't
recognize
see Malcolm in the
anything.
Middle when I went down his list. I'll
Alien
be honest.
Nation. That's a.
Didn't see that
Oh,
one.
I love that one. You're a bad person. I'm gonna do your job for you from now on. You can do mine. How about that? We can change.
So this is one I've been excited to get to. Brian George as the immigration officer. Voiced the inspector in 40 episodes of Pink Panther. Rich Basir in season 5, episode 16 of Deep Space Nine. Ambassador Azol in season 7, episode 3 of Voyager. So many iconic voice acting roles. Dr. V.M. Kuthar-Pauly in Big Bang Theory, and Sonny Kamala in I Feel Bad, the show that only lasted one season in 2008, and it's a shame because that is a fantastic show and more people should have watched it.
Also, he voiced Alfred in Batman: The Killing Joke, like the one famous animated DC cartoon, widely known, I should say, not famous.
They have a lot of really popular animated ones because
Yeah, but that's the one that they just won't shut up about.
Yeah, no, fantastic career. Oh my god, I had to narrow it down to just those, and that was killing me.
Yeah.
Robertson Dean as angry dog owner.
Another names, Star Trek alum too.
Yeah, was in season 6, episode 14 of Next Gen, and season 2, episode 6 of Enterprise.
And he was in Nemesis. And
was he? I did not see Nemesis. Jim Stahl as the quarantine officer, which is the one with the pets. Again, another writer. Okay. Keon Young.
Yep.
All right, as Ralph, the limo driver. I'm pretty sure IMDb has this misspelled. Yep, they have a Y in the for some reason. Someone fix that.
I thought maybe someone misspelled Thai limo driver. that's what I was thinking.
He was in season 2, episode 10 of Enterprise. Silas Sinister in Return to Halloween Town. Commander Sato in Rebels. And too many shows I like to name. I literally have written here. Oh my god. Like, again, the people in this movie. Whew. All right, so the rest of these I can get through a little bit quicker, unless you find something you want to say about them. Kellen
Go on.
Kellen Hathaway as trick-or-treater. Bill Prady as paramedic writer. T.J. McInturf as Stanley. Sorry.
Bullshit name. That's a bullshit name. Like McInturf. Like, come on. That person went to Hollywood and they're like, I don't know, Mac and... Oh, there's grass over there. Turf. Like, he just came up with... Like,
unless that's his real name. Francesca Smith as Monique, which the voice...
Great voice actor.
Helga from Hey Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Carr as Cassie O'Leary was in season 1, episode 12 of Enterprise.
There's several actors in this too, like the smaller people and stuff too. Even the one I was talking about, like several of them have worked with Rob Zombie too in the past, which is kind of cool.
James Keen as Maitre D. James,
dude, he was in Dick Tracy. Like, you can't not talk about Dick Tracy.
Well, I was trying.
I'm
to
just saying. I'm
mentioning.
I
appreciate you
interrupting
me. No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, go ahead.
James Basil as waiter. Only has 4 acting credits. Lynn Marie Stewart as Mrs. Wafer. Wrote 2 episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse and adapted the show for the Broadway TV movie.
The Running Man too. Nice.
Sure. Judy Kane as Mrs. Hersby was in season 9, episode 11 of the Scrubs spin-off show, because that is not the same Scrubs. Still just as good, so don't downplay it. Tommy Bertelsen as Ted Walker, Ralph P. Martin as Sergeant, Jim Jackman as Front Desk Officer, Christina Venuti as Woman at Fundraiser, Aaron
Wow.
Paris as Transformed Band Leader, Yvonne DeCarlo, Al Lewis, Butch Patrick, and Pat Priest, all as restaurant guests.
Yep.
I don't think we have to explain who they are. Carlise Burke is uncredited. Darren Mangan, uncredited as a villager. Dee Wallace, uncredited as Miss Walker, who Dee Wallace was also in the Rob Zombie film as the Good Morning Transylvania announcer.
Yeah. Yeah, Dee Wallace is definitely a staple in horror for sure. Like, I mean, if you even look in her IMDb and stuff like that, it's not. It's almost nothing but.
I've said it before, but this one I actively encourage you, go look at the IMDb of this cast. Like, there's narrowing it down and skipping so much was painful.
Well, I saw some people when the Munster movie came out and they saw that Dee Wallace was in there. Like, why did they give this role to this random person? I'm like, you random person? Are you kidding me? Like, you don't understand your horror then if you think that it's just some random person. Also, Rob Zombie doesn't do anything randomly. Like,
actually, you know what? If we're gonna since we're on the before we get into the movie itself, since we're talking about Rob Zombie's film, Jeff Daniel Phillips did an episode with the Thing with Two Heads podcast, which are two guys that are in the horror industry, and they just had a candid talk with each other, and I got some little tidbits for that movie. So Rob actually pitched this movie 10 years ago.
Okay.
But then it got shifted to Mockingbird Lane, and then it went back to Rob after that, and it got stalled until, the pandemic, and then it finally got moving. Jeff actually had multiple suits that he would switch between because they got so damn hot.
I bet.
Yeah, he said at one point he got to where he had to have a Gatorade next to him because he was trying his hardest to hide the seams and stuff of the suit. So if you notice in the movie, he's constantly moving around and stuff. Like, he's not standing still at all. That was on purpose to try and hide stuff.
Okay.
Rob
Zombie gave a little swagger to his character too. Like,
yeah, well, it did too, and it gave him his young energy, young kind of
young
approach.
Would you say a young Frankenstein?
Yeah. All of the posters and even the Zombo cereal box that we see in that movie are designed by Rob Zombie. He is known for doing like all of the shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
He designs all of that for all of his stuff.
Yeah. If you ever see a lot of his stuff, it's almost exact to the style and everything. Yeah. There's just not a bunch of naked girls on it.
And also because they were filming during the lockdowns and stuff, they had a curfew in place, so they had a certain amount of time before they had to shut down each day.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so it's a really interesting talk.
Okay.
Highly recommend. Go and give it a listen.
Awesome. Definitely check that guy out, guys. All right, so do we want to dive on into this movie here?
All right. Well, first I'm going to give one of my trivias. When this debuted on Fox, it was hosted by the Crypt Keeper.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, to preface this as well, this is a full redo. This is not a sequel to the show. This is not a prequel to the show. This is a full reimagining.
Like Rob Zombie's film.
Yeah. So when you go and watch it, if you've never watched it, definitely watch it with that in mind. So let's
So
dive on into this, man.
my first note is when the villagers are assaulting their castle, which I will give them credit because it actually looks a lot like the one we saw in Munster Revenge, Munster's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cool touch. But when they're like bringing a catapult and they pull a rocket launcher out of the catapult.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah, they're like, it's our secret weapon, and then it's just this giant bazooka. Like, oh, that's awesome. It definitely sets the tone because it's like, yeah, this isn't like it's the old country, but it's not the olden days. You know, they're tired of this crap. Yeah, and did you see? They start this out too with awesome scene that I liked. I didn't. I liked it for reasons because we had talked about doing it before. After we saw Mini Munsters, they put Grandpa's face on the actual bat.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like, that's awesome because we had referenced it. That'd be really cool if Al would have done that every time he turned into a bat. That you get Al Lewis's face on the actual bat. I don't know how they would have done it back then, but still, because they had done it in the Mini Munsters. So I think it's a nice little throwback and stuff to that. So pretty cool. In this version, fire does upset Herman. Apparently,
Yes, it does.
So.
And honestly, at this point in the movie, I had because when they're all talking together in the living room about what to do with the people outside,
yeah,
and Herman's like, "I'll just go talk to him." Like, last time you talked to him, they tore you apart. I have to say, I think they're actually doing a really good job. Not so much emulating, but like being the characters while also doing it their way. That was really good. And I actually, throughout this movie, this is a note I have later on, but the Lily in this reminds me a lot of the Lily we see from Sherry Moo Zombie, which...
Yeah, I wrote that down too. That's one of my notes. I was like, this definitely is... It seems like this is where Sherry might have grabbed more of her...
mannerisms
and everything, because it's a little more extreme. And even the way she talks... Like the tone of her voice and stuff is kind of like, this has to be where Sherry got her design from and everything of the character. So, and like, because we even see later too, like this Lily dresses in like something completely different, kind of like a Real Housewives of Mockingbird Lane or some type of shit thing. So.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a Real Housewives with the Munster characters? I'd watch that one.
I thought it was interesting that we do go a little more on the morbid side as we actually see some of the wreckage of Spot instead of just hearing about it with the buried mailman. But I thought it was interesting that Marilyn is the one that invites them to America. And that's like twice now that we see like in Mockingbird Lane. It's kind of the first one we see is Marilyn.
Right.
So I don't know. It kind of struck out to me as interesting.
Well, in this one, like Marilyn and her parents both all live in the States already, so they've already set up, and they get an invitation. They're like, "Oh, Marilyn, we're gonna go live with Marilyn," and her dad Norman Hyde, and sets that all up.
Well, so we don't know their last name at first.
No, they say it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they say it while they're still in Transylvania. And then they fly over, and we get this really cool plane scene, and like it reminded me of the movie Airplane. Because like
they were very accommodating to them. Were they on Air Transylvania again?
I think so.
I didn't catch it, but I have a feeling they were.
But like they were very accommodating to these people, and like the second that they were helping Eddie up into the storage, I was just like, "Is this Airplane? Like, what is going on?" Because no one was freaked out on the plane or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I have an observation about that later on. But yeah, and Grandpa, of course, saving money is outside the plane, flying next to them.
Yeah. And
um,
then he flies up to first class because they got better movies for him to watch through the window.
and no one reacts to them at all until they
No.
land and get to the airport. Everyone balks except for the immigration officer,
Yeah.
who does not give a crap.
And it's interesting that because this was done in the 90s, and
Hmm.
I don't know what all that we did in the 90s for it, but the immigration officer was also a foreigner as well.
Yeah, I actually have a note that's later on when he goes to the employment office.
Yeah.
Everyone there runs except for the Irish
Yeah.
person working there. So it's like the only people being really nice to them so far are other foreigners.
Right. Yeah, because even their driver, the guy who ends up driving them to
Ralph,
1313,
yeah.
Ralph is, he's an Asian man. He even talks about he's only been in the country for like a year or so. And they
Mhm.
really dive deep, and I should have went back and seen what was really going heavily into the country at this time too when this came out, because they really dive deep into the whole foreign comments and like they're destroying the country type stuff, and these foreigners need to go back home and all that crap. So it would be interesting to see what was going on around the time of 94, 95 ish with that stuff going on, just because of the commentary with this film. And yeah, I mean, we've already talked about the fact that they were foreign immigrants, or they were
Oh,
middle class immigrants or whatever. Working class immigrants is what they were in the
so
original. So go
yeah,
on.
the U.S. hit a high point for immigration between 92 and 2000.
Okay.
So it was a hot button topic at that
Right.
point.
Which, I
Which,
mean, it works well with the Munsters
oh, it does extremely well.
in ways. But there was definitely a way that I felt like they could have still tackled the issue without it being so heavy-handed. But I think that the way it was handled was still entertaining, at least.
Oh yeah, no, it like you said, it works extremely well with this family,
Yeah.
especially with how they're we're used to them being treated
Yeah.
by other people.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're being treated as like filthy, dirty, evil, like they're bringing drugs into our country type foreigners, and
mhm.
they're like being the super nice, like as accommodating as they can. Like they're like, you're going to jail. And then Herman just like puts his hands out every time to get the handcuffs, and he's smiling and stuff, and he's just walk with me, come on.
Yeah.
That's getting ahead of us, but still.
No,
um
yeah, yeah. Well, it's an important thing because I mean, let's be honest. If this movie was released now instead of Rob Zombies, people, why are you bringing these political issues into my movies?
don't ever do that voice again.
I'm sorry, but that's what those people sound like. If you say that, that's what you sound like, and you should know that. Uh,
Political issues have been in movies and TV for a long time. It's just how
exactly.
it's just how it's put in there. Because even I'm sometimes just like, really, guys, like you couldn't even like be subtle about it. But then other
I don't
people
think
like,
you
well, we
can
tried to
be
be
with it.
subtle and no one listened to the subtlety. Well, shoving it down their throats isn't going to help either. That's just going to make it worse sometimes. Anyways,
Sometimes they shovel it down their throats and they still don't see it. So
right. So we get them. They're going through their paperwork. Herman's passport has multiple birthdays on it
yeah,
for
for
each
every
individual
part.
body part. Yeah. That's awesome. Like the gags that they pull in this are very reminiscent of like some of the jokes and stuff they would have done in the original, which is really cool to see. And as you said, like a lot of them, like the character of them is very true to the originals, I feel.
Mhm.
Um, the paperwork for Spot was over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's time for a checkup.
Yeah.
Which I love the CGIs that they do.
Those aren't CGIs.
They're not. They look.
No, those are probably just lights that they had in there because it was an animatronic head. They had an animatronic head.
Yeah, those eyes didn't match the head, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll take another look later. But they walk out of the airport, and Herman bends down and gets hit by a hearse with what on it, Tivis?
Bateman and Bateman, or no,
Bateman and Bateman. What
it's
the
his
hell?
work. I forget.
Gateman,
Gateman
Goodbury, and
and
Graves.
Yes.
Did you see the commercial that Rob Zombie put out for them?
No, I haven't seen.
It's
The
pretty
last one I
fun.
saw was Orloff doing his techno.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Gateman, Goodbury, and Graves. Hits them, and the guy flips out, and then he ends up giving him a ride to 1313
Thanks for
Mockingbird
not
Lane.
suing me.
Yeah. Marilyn answers the door at the. Oh, first of all, we get this. We get a lot of awesome images of the house, and you can see it. You can't really see it behind us, unfortunately. But the house actually looks pretty cool. It doesn't have some of the features like the original had and stuff like that, but it was still cool to see. It reminded me of a house that would be in a normal neighborhood, but had the old aesthetic look to it still.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And we get what was it? Marilyn opens the door in the witch mask, and
Yeah,
I
they're
thought,
like, prepare yourself. They've done
yeah.
her dad's done experiments, but they haven't done a whole lot.
But she opens the door in a witch mask, a bright green witch mask, and I'm like, dude, is this where Rob Zombie got this scene from?
I thought the same thing.
Because it was like the first time they're coming there, and they answered the door, and there's this bright green witch, who is played by Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira, for people who don't remember that. I've seen that movie 12 times.
Only 12? I swear, for like 2 weeks straight, you said every single day you had it on.
I think it was only 12, maybe 13 times. Because we did watch it with my. I forgot to talk about that too, though. I did watch it with my grandparents, my grandma, who I grew up watching the original show with.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went to her place the other week when we took a vacation, I got her to sit down with me and the kids, and we all watched it and stuff, and she liked it. She was laughing and she enjoyed it. She's like, oh yeah, I remember these characters, because she doesn't watch the Munsters anymore, but she's like, I remember, like, she's getting a little older. She's like, yeah, I remember that brought back all these memories of, the characters and stuff. So it's like awesome. That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Getting the chance to just watch it with the lady who, got me interested in old television and old things in general for like TV Land and Nick at Night and all that crap was awesome. But I digress. Anyways, I just wanted to say that because I forgot to mention that after the vacation.
That's an awesome story, man.
The house is actually Marilyn's.
Yeah, we get the name of her parents for the first time ever.
Yeah,
Norman, Elsa.
Norman and Elsa. And Elsa in this one is Herman's sister.
Yeah.
In this universe. So it's Marilyn's or Herman's sister instead of Lily's sister. So Marilyn is actually just blood related to Herman.
Oh, also don't forget they're arriving during Halloween season again.
Yeah. Yep. There's a very
also I think there's a reference to mini monsters when they talk about the smog problem.
Yeah. But there's a very big thing about them always coming in around Halloween, which is awesome to see. Like Halloween is their day, their anniversary date for moving in and stuff like that, basically. Because we even had in the Munsters Revenge, they were decorating their Halloween tree, and you can only just assume it's because of the move-in day and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
We also get the theme, which I neglected to mention last week with Mockingbird Lane. I loved how they used the theme in that one. That's as much as I'll say, but I loved it so much.
The theme music? Yeah.
Yeah, I really,
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job with that one pilot.
that we'll never see anything of again. Jerry O'Connell, please come on to the show. I would love to talk to you about your career, but also to ask you
Sliders.
about
Oh,
Herman.
right. Yeah. Uh,
Come on, man. He's done more than Sliders.
yeah, but Sliders is just good.
You can watch Kangaroo Jack and ask him about that, since that's the only thing I'll probably get you to watch of his besides Sliders.
So here's where the neighbor starts being a creep with binoculars.
Yep, you get the neighborhood watch type people, so it's kind of like the Burbs. If you've ever seen the Burbs, they're watching the creepy house, of course. Have to see what's going on.
Yeah, I will say that once we get inside the house, I got a very reminiscent feel of Grandpa's set, the set of Grandpa's house in the Rob Zombie movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you did or not, but I felt like it was very, because it was definitely not the classic inside layout that we're used to.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. And did you see how they open the stairs? Because they actually do open the stairs, and these stairs go down to Grandpa's lab, just like
I did, and it was
before.
weird.
They just rub it.
Yeah.
They just rub the stair thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, the stairs lead to the lab, just like in Mockingbird Lane.
Yep.
We get the Raven. It's mechanical in this one.
It's just like a cuckoo clock, basically.
Yeah. Elsa turns out to be the bride of Frankenstein.
Yep.
Which was the movie they were watching on the plane.
Which is yeah. So he married his sister?
No, he married Lily. Oh wait, in Frankenstein, I guess was that another Frankenstein creation? Because I guess technically,
yeah. I never really thought about it until I watched this one. I was like, they are brother and sister. They would be.
I mean, adopted, but it's still weird.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever seen Bride of Frankenstein, though, she like freaks the hell out. It's like,
I think I've never seen that one. I only know the version from Young Frankenstein.
Okay. It's been a very long time since I've seen the original Bride of Frankenstein, but I think it's due for a rewatch.
Yeah. So the neighbor is staring in the window, and they get the cops called on.
Yep. She calls the cops because okay. So what happened is Elsa has gone into a deep coma. She's been there for 6 months in a coma for 6 months because her dad
in the phone coffin.
Yeah.
When they found her.
But she's been in the coma for about 6 months because her husband, Mr. Hyde, took off. He just vanished, and she's kind of like in this weird comatose state. I like comatic better. Comatic. We're gonna say that, even though it's not a word. This coma state.
That's how English develops.
We just make shit up. America.
Yeah.
So we get this backstory, and Marilyn's like, yeah, isn't that why you're here? And they're like, no, we came to move in. You invited us to move in. She's like, no, I came to ask you for help because my dad disappeared, basically. And they're like, didn't you get my note? And we're like, we got part of it because it was all burnt up.
Dude, he does a really great Herman.
Yeah. But then we go into the lab and stuff, and this is where you really see the grandpa in this one. You can see where he grabbed from Al Lewis. I don't know if he was trying to try too hard or just try just enough. It was interesting to see. But he was definitely giving off Al vibes every so often. And they go down to the lab, and this is where they get caught because they're carrying Elsa down to the lab.
Yep.
And it just looks like a dead body. And the neighbor freaks out, calls the cops. They get a bunch of cops there, and then they're investigating. They raid the house. They take the body, and this is where you see you can tell where the love interest was going to come from with Marilyn, because she always has to hook up with a cop. She's got
Yeah,
something with the.
yeah, you're right. I didn't realize that.
She's
That's
got
the
something
third
for
time now.
cops. Yeah. Um, it's that cold hard steel.
Yeah. My next note is when the cops are interrogating them in the kitchen. It looks like there's a light beam that hits Lily's face, very eerily similar to Morticia.
Oh, like around across the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Eddie was in the cupboard again.
Yep. They have Eddie in the cupboard a lot in this. A funny joke, a funny one that got me was like Marilyn was like, he's been missing for 6 months to the cops and stuff like that. And don't you know how to do your job? And or no, was it Grandpa? It was Grandpa that was saying this. He's like, you guys just don't know how to do it. Herman's like, no, I'm sure he knows how to do his job.
He's just taking his time.
He just wants to take his time. And I just started laughing. I was like, that's funny because it's so true.
Yeah. It's a shame your kids didn't want to watch this, dude. I think they would have got a kick out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they'll watch it again with me when I rewatch it for sure.
I am definitely rewatching this with Victoria. I think she will love it.
Yeah. And then I get a lot of my next comment on here was foreign comments of them destroying the country, which is funny as the two main interactions in the States were with foreign people. So we already talked about that.
Yeah. Well, I got one here of Lily is already loving living in America. She's like having the time of her life. She's got a to-do list. She's got all kinds of stuff. And
she's really trying to emulate American, quote unquote, American lifestyle by trying to get into this like mindset and like the healthy food stuff and all these different things.
Oh, I forgot about the health kick of the
90s health kick. That's just like, I think that's like, don't get me wrong, I love you ladies out there, but I think it's like a female thing. Like when they hit like around 30ish, a lot of them try and go into this deep health kick. My mom did it when she was in her 30s. My wife started doing it. So I'm just like, can I just please be a fat ass and leave me alone?
I don't know about that. I mean, we're both in our 30s this year, and I mean, we're eating more Taco Bell than
give it a few years. Give it some time. You'll be
granted. I'm the only one that seems to look like I eat Taco Bell. It's not fair, but
she's gonna walk in a few days and be like, "Yeah, so our cholesterol. We need to talk about it."
Oh, dude, if you're watching the video, you could just see me. You can tell my health is probably not the best. I'm waiting any day for the message like, "Hey, stop that," and I'm like, my life is ruined. So yeah,
you want a piece of pizza? Go run around the block 10 times.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like damn it. But Eddie has to go to school, and he found his bully immediately.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, he was gonna kill this kid.
Oh, he was totally gonna rip his freaking throat out. Eddie's in the cabinets again. We see that.
Yeah.
Grandpa's actually drinks blood in this one. We actually see him drink actual blood that they microwave in a plastic bag.
Which is not
that okay.
Good. Don't put plastic in there.
Okay. Even if the plastic is not gonna melt in there, the BPA from that bag has got to be extreme. And now it's in the blood. Now it's in Grandpa. Grandpa's full of BPA. Things we didn't know in the 90s, right? I guess.
And now we got Herman looking for a job, and we get the restaurant scene. How great was that restaurant scene?
Well, the employment agency, he goes there and it's full of people who want to file for unemployment.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. He's like the immigrants are the only ones that want to work.
Yep. And they left. They all bolted out of there when Herman walks in. He comes in. The girl's scared it for a second, and then
he busts in the door.
Yeah,
I would be scared too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, sorry about that. He's like, "Oh, it's all right. I don't know the difference." Or no, I don't know.
The
I have
push and
trouble with
pull.
the push pull, yeah.
Yeah.
Which so do I. So
I think Herman's issue is the twisting of the knob. It doesn't really.
maybe he's used to like the levers.
Yeah, because he doesn't really push or pull. Like he just
He just kind
walks
of
through. He
grabs and
doesn't turn. um, but yeah, she's very she's like, here, fill this paperwork out. You know, unemployment checks will be sent to you. Blah blah blah. He's like, I don't want unemployment. I want employment. Like. And like you said, it's the whole thing of like, you know, the foreigners were trying to actually do the jobs to work and they're taking our jobs. No, you just don't want the jobs, type of thing. And I think we're starting to see a lot of that again now, right now too. Like
that and a
there's
lot
just
of
so many lazy
protesting
people.
against corporations for being absolute assholes to us.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only some, protesting won't make you money unless you're the big top dogs in it, and then you're making the money from the corporations.
Well, here's the thing: you want me to stay, pay me more. Otherwise, I'm going to go to the place that pays me more.
Right. But don't get on unemployment just because you want to be lazy.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
But yeah, so they commentate on that, like, you know, the foreigners are the ones that are trying to work for a living, do the middle class like lifestyle, or not middle class but working class lifestyle and stuff. So she gets him a job, and yeah, this is when he goes and we do the scene in the restaurant. Sorry.
Yeah, that restaurant was that was a great cameo, great use of the original cast.
Yeah. What did you think about the dialogue? Did you think it was too heavy-handed or on point, or did you think it was just right?
Written exactly as they were playing the original characters. So
yeah.
Obviously, Butch Patrick was a bit older.
Right. Did you notice Butch Patrick, when Marilyn orders her food and is like such a normal, like healthy diet thing, and he's like, you always had to be the odd one out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Grandpa's over there cracking jokes about like,
give me the rarest, the kill of the day, the rarest steak.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
And Butch Patrick orders a burger, but without anything, including bread, so it's just a slab of meat. And he's just like, "Yep, that's what I want." And I forget what Yvonne ordered. I don't recall. Was it just like? I don't recall what that one was. It wasn't like anything like that stuck out to me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely in character, but I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what. I just remember Grandpa saying "fresh kill of the day."
Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
which is something my grandpa would have said.
Right. It was definitely a good use of the characters. I thought that we would have possibly seen them pop up again in another scene that we get later, but we don't get them there. So I was like, okay, at least we got that one cool scene, and they're with Herman, you know, instead of with all the family.
He seems oddly familiar.
Yeah.
And even in those, what was it? I think it was the, was it Monster's First Family of Fright or whatever? I believe Al Lewis said that seeing Edward in the garb, it was like Fred was there with them.
That was Butch Patrick.
Was that
Patrick
Butch?
said that. Yeah, he's like, yeah, we commented because when he walked through the door, it was like weird because, you know, it was like Fred almost. And and I do have to say, like, as far as copying, if you want to say copying, I think emulating, yes. I think that he did a really good job of pulling in some of that Fred definitely into the character. Yeah. I mean, the suit helps too, like if you dress him properly and stuff like that. What'd you think about the makeup though on him? Because they put purple in the makeup. It was green and purple.
I thought it looked pretty good. It was very 90s of the era. But still classical, you know, Herman.
Some planes flying very low today. They're after me. I spoke my mind too much.
The next note I have is as he gets fired from the restaurant, when he's knocking over everyone and throws like the plate of food into his boss, it really looked like his boss. I wonder if Ed Ed, if Edward, I don't know what he prefers to be called, but what if he said something to him when they went over how many takes this took? Because it really looked to me like as they were getting up, the boss, the guy at the restaurant, was trying very hard not to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's great. You have to wonder what kind of fun they had on this set, because how could you not have fun?
Especially if you think about it, how many of these people were massive fans of the original,
Oh,
and grew up watching it, and they just were happy to be there. Like you see it in some of the BTS from Mockingbird Lane that we watched, and you just see these people love the characters. We heard it from Mr. Roebuck, and you see it in these people that they grew up loving.
Mr. Zombie and
Yeah. They love the show, they love the characters, they love the world and everything like that. And it was just great to see them be able to do it. You got to imagine the conversations on set too,
yeah. Oh yeah, and Jeff Daniel Phillips in that interview he just did. Well, I don't want to call it an interview. It was just a conversation with two friends.
Yeah.
He goes into that too. He's like, by the end of the shoot, we were still making each other laugh every day. It was just fun. So,
and I think that's something that you build that also with like the people that they're working with, because like Mr. Zombie uses a lot of the same actors. They get to know each other. They've worked on a lot of projects together too, and I think that when you have a family, there's a reason why Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller, who are the same person, no, they use the same actors. They work with the same people all the time, and it's because if you're gonna work and you're gonna do it with a bunch of people, why not do it with your friends? And why not have fun? And why not make these memories with your friends and your wives? Because they both put their, well, I don't know if Ben Stiller puts his wife in this stuff, but I know Adam Sandler does. So it's like you get those moments where it's just like, why not? That's how you would want to work. Like that's like my dream, is to like just produce videos or movies with my family and friends. That would require me to be more social and have more friends, but still.
oh yeah, it's Daniel Roebuck. I mean, he's promoting his next project, which we don't know the name of yet, but his wife Tammy's there with him doing it. So
yeah, and he talked about it too. Like working with his daughter and everything. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, we're getting off track. This is going to be a long one, and I knew it was going to be, so that's fine.
So we get as Herman's being fired, we go back to the house where Lily's hanging out with the desperate housewives of Mockingbird Lane.
We got all three reactions to the Munsters when Herman walks in.
Yeah,
because they've been drinking wine clearly, and two of them are drunk. We got the
man.
one who wants to sleep with Herman, the
She's
one who is kind of apprehensive, and then the neighbor who called the cops walks in and she's terrified.
Yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, we gotta go." But that neighbor who like is a freak. She like wants to get with Herman. She like is sitting in the electric chair and like even puts her arms in the straps and stuff and is playing around with it. So you can tell like, okay, she's okay. And it was very, very reminiscent of like watching Desperate Housewives, honestly, with all four of these women there, like, cause they're all different in their own ways. And everything, like including with Lily there, she would be the fourth. And it was just awesome to see this scene because you get this like realization that like it's like I don't like these people, but I do like these people. And this one girl's just like, yeah, I just want to bang everybody. I don't care what they are or what parts they're. And she even hits on him in front of his own wife.
Well, not only that, she's like, my husband works late nights. And I think at this point he had accepted the job at the funeral home too. So he's like, oh, maybe I'll run into him.
No. He said, oh, grandpa works nights too. Maybe
that's right.
Maybe they can get together. That's what it was. Because she's like, oh, you need work? Maybe you could come and do some things for me. Because she was literally about to say, do me. And I
I'm
was like,
surprised with
okay.
the history of Lily's character and jealousy that she didn't just rip her apart right there.
Right. Well, there is a scene too, like later, where Lily does say something about him with another woman or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, because Herman goes to jail. She's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm someplace with bars. I sure hope you're not at a woman's house.
Yeah. But all right. So real quick, I want to mention this because this one even popped out to me. So the ladies are all leaving because the one girl's like, all right, we gotta go because she saw like a moving foot.
Are you talking about when Grandpa hits her with the door?
No, but
Okay. Well, say what you were gonna
say
say.
that. Go say, okay, so the girls are all leaving. Grandpa comes up, and the freaky one is even like attracted to Grandpa, somewhat. But I don't know if you saw this because I rewound it and saw it again because I was like, did I see what I thought I saw? And he like taps her ass. I was just like, wait, what? Grandpa?
Oh no, I saw the he was no what I saw was Robert was not paying attention to the people leaving, and as he's looking away, he shuts the door. The girl is not fully out of the door frame yet, and he smacks her, and he's like, "Oh, was it?"
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like they clearly left that in.
I was like more shocked that like Grandpa just tapped this girl's butt, and not like once, but like boom boom, like a couple taps up underneath to get like the leverage, and I was just like, oh, and I was like, I did that, and I let it play for a couple more minutes, and I was like, wait a minute, before I write that note, I want to make sure I saw what I saw, and I was like, okay, Grandpa's a little freaky too.
Yeah, well,
because this is just some random stranger.
The end, you know.
I wonder if that was part of the script or if the actor just did it, which would be so much weirder.
Yeah.
Let's see. They gave a comment about the mortuary needing from Maryland to get a mortuary makeover.
I think this is the point where we see the news bulletin, or they turn on the news, and
yeah,
Jekyll is talking, and I'm like, Jekyll, that's Norm. The politician is Norm. Because we see that's what Grandpa's hurrying up from the lab for. He's got the video footage of the experiment of him turning into. All we see is a business, legs
we see him
and
grow.
shoes.
We see him grow, yeah.
So I'm just like, Jekyll. All right, so because I completely missed the fact that their last name was Hyde this entire movie. So okay, so clearly it's Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, yeah. And that's when they first introduced that. Then Herman goes back to try and get a job. They don't have any more jobs. Right.
Yeah, they have him take an aptitude test, and it says the only thing he's good for is terrorizing villagers.
Yeah, and he's like,
have a test for that.
And they're like, he's like, well, is there any job openings for that? And she's like, no, the IRS. Well, she doesn't call it the IRS. She calls it Internal Revenue Service. Has that one covered. I was like, damn.
Oh, it's true though.
Very true. And then
this is where he's like
drops the card, and then he like goes and gets the job. He comes home.
You're just not suited for working with any living people. And he's like,
right,
I have a solution.
Yeah. And he goes and gets a job at Goodbury, Gateman, Goodbury, and Graves.
I'm glad you can remember that, because all I have is Goodman and Goodman. I don't know where I got that from.
Is John Goodman starting his own like funeral parlor?
It's got to be from something.
And how do you not remember that, man?
You know what's funny is I remember Mr. Gateman, but I don't have his name in the title.
That's weird. Yeah, so he gets a job. He comes home. He's driving like this old ass hearse, and Grandpa's like, "No, that's not gonna do," and uses magic to turn it into
the Munster coach, which his boss is probably gonna be pissed.
Right. The OG Munster coach too.
Yeah, it
is made by magic. And then eventually they figure out that Mr. Jekyll is Oh no, Eddie turns into a werewolf in class, by the way,
Oh yeah, he
from a
does.
picture of a full moon. Um,
Yeah. I know. I didn't even make a note of that. Yeah, and he's like terrorizing the people in his
yeah,
classroom, and Lily comes and like, stop it.
but they have to go and get blood from Mr. Jekyll. Brent Jekyll is his
Well,
name.
hold on. Before, since we brought up Eddie's thing, after his transformation, everyone in the class thinks he's cool.
Yeah,
And he's already really friends with this. Again, talk about the
another
foreigners
foreign.
being the nicest people. The only kid who was nice to him was this girl who moved from Paris
Yeah,
or France or somewhere in France. I don't know if they say it's Paris, but
I don't remember.
yeah.
But yeah, so they have to go and get blood from Mr. Jekyll. They go and sneak into his house. Grandpa apparently doesn't need permission to go into the houses in this universe.
No.
He just
Also,
like bursts into there in a cloud of smoke.
he does. Lily makes her own stairmaster at some point here. I have written.
She does?
Yeah, she's like doing exercises on it, and it's like wooden, and it looks like their staircase.
Huh.
I think that must have been right before
that.
she went to the Eddie scene. It's weird.
So they break into Mr. Jekyll's house. They find out, somewhat of what's going on there.
Yeah, he's very against foreign immigration.
We just have this random spot where
Herman hides in a closet.
He hides in a closet, but that closet's connected to another closet?
Or they do with the Scooby-Doo trick where he's just in a closet that teleports.
Right.
Like the hallway
and then
doors.
He somehow ends up in this kid's closet, and the kid's like, there's a monster in my closet, and their mom's like, oh, just shut the hell up and go to bed, you stupid little kid. And then he goes and throws a ball into the closet. Very reminiscent. I think it was it The Exorcist that did this one? Exorcist, I believe it was.
I was thinking of the
or not The Exorcist. Sorry, Poltergeist.
What was I was thinking of the movie where they have like the monsters under the bed that their own world. What the hell is that movie?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Monsters Inc.
No, hang it. Go ahead and talk. I'll look it up.
But yeah, he tosses the ball into the closet. The ball flies back out. So he gets up instead of just staying in bed like a smart kid. Little Monsters. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of just staying in bed like a smart kid, he gets up out of bed and Herman's there. And at first he's scared for a second, but then he realizes Herman's not a bad monster.
Yeah, he's
just a monster.
I'm so sorry for scaring you.
Yeah, and he even tucks him back in the bed.
Yeah, he's like, Herman's still great with kids.
And then which is weird. Herman, stay out of kids' bedrooms, please.
Don't even know how he got in there.
Gonna get more people that hate you. And
funny if this turned out to be shit, I forget the kid's name from the finale of season 1.
Googie?
No, Googie was the asshole.
No, kid. Googie was the asshole. You're talking about
Galen or something.
Galen,
like that? Yeah.
There is a Herman.
Wait,
Galen,
are these Jekyll's kids or the cops' kids? Because we never find out.
Those are Jekyll's kids.
Did he go start a whole new family?
Or the cops' kids? No, they're the cops' kids. Yeah, because they say they're at the cops' house.
Oh, okay, good. I missed
or not
that.
The cops' house. The campaign manager's house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, how long has this guy been missing? 6 months? That kid is more than 6 months.
Magic.
I don't know. It'd be pretty suspicious if the kid suddenly sprouted to be dead.
But the mom walks back into the room while Herman's still sitting on the end of the bed. And she freaks out. He freaks out. He runs through the wall into the campaign manager's room where the campaign manager is and Mr. Jekyll, Brent Jekyll. And
Jekyll, Brent Jekyll. Is that really his name?
His Brent Jekyll is his name.
Oh, okay. I thought, because I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that in one of these movies.
Brent Jekyll.
No, that's like Jekyll, middle name Brett, last name Jekyll.
Mario.
That's a real thing. That actually is his name. Uh, it's
uh,
Luigi Mario.
it's Mario and Luigi Mario. Anyways, then he tackles him kind of into the door where Grandpa's at with the syringe that looks like it should kill him.
Yeah.
and he takes some of his blood out, and the Grandpa dips, and Herman
Grandpa
gets
gets away.
arrested.
Which Herman is like so nice throughout this entire thing as well. He's like, all right, let's go. So they're down. They're now booking him and stuff. They're putting his fingerprints down. He loses a thumb, and the cop's just like, the fuck?
Yeah, we finally get that gag I told you would have been fun to see and easy to do in the OG show, because he's always talking about losing a finger and stuff like that. And then they put him into an interrogation room.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is when like we get the whole like expository, like everything. Here's the evil person's plan, basically. Exposition dump, I should say. From the cop and the campaign manager, and the campaign manager's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. He told you
we
this.
Also get
we need
the
this silence in.
Yeah, the lead up to this, Herman's like, he's putting on the suit. He's like, I think it looks pretty good on me.
No, that's after this. That's after this
part.
Oh,
I thought this was while he was in the interrogation room. No, yeah, that's right. No. He goes in there
because they have to book him.
Yeah.
Which they already did book him if they took his fingerprints, but okay. Some people don't know how the justice system works. But
sometimes the justice system
they don't take your fingerprints just to put you in an interrogation room. Like that's not what they do. And they what was it? So they talk about it. They're like, oh, he says that. Or no, they send the young guy, the young cop out that's Maryland's like boo right now, and sends him over to, wow, I just said boo. I don't even think kids say that anymore. Anyways, his bae. Sugar daddy. I don't know. He goes into the interrogation room to talk to Herman, and they're in there doing the exposition dump of like, oh yeah, if anyone finds out, and no one's gonna find out, he's like a pawn. He's a perfect pawn because he has no history. Brent Jekyll has no background, nothing. No friends are gonna come out of the woodwork and be like, oh, I smoked weed with him this one time, or he did this one time.
Shady background,
right?
Which is, every politician has that. Remember, Obama smoking a bong picture came out, so. They'll use anything in a political race.
And Bush was a massive druggie too. No one gave a crap.
Yeah, cocaine. No one cares.
Trump grabbed him by the pussy. We didn't. No one cared.
Mayor of DC has been caught doing coke in the office multiple times, and he still gets
like the last few presidents that we've had, just like Bush, Obama, and Trump alone. No one gives a crap about what you dig up on these people. Like no one. You can it's just crazy. Anyway,
it's crazy, man.
And even Clinton still stayed in the White House after he got some head in there. Like, come on. Like, no one cares. No one actually gives a crap.
Yeah, they didn't get rid of him, did they?
No, they didn't. They tried, but they didn't. And so they do the exposition dump of this. This is why they're doing it. And he's like, eventually, if the serum works or the potion works, we can have somebody in the White House. And then we can have, and then eventually you can be the head of the FBI, to the police guy. I'm just going to stop there. And then we get the whole, we need to make sure this doesn't get out. So you got to book Herman. And they book Herman, and this is where he gets his sweet little pajama set. And you can
also that. He's like fixing his kisses. We're gonna take your photos and stuff. And he's like fixing his hair, and that's when we get the glass shattering. He's like, oh hi.
Yeah, the mirror break gag that we haven't had all this whole thing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sorry about your mirror.
Let's see here. Then we have. I'm trying to see
The
here.
next one I got is when Herman calls. I think some stuff happens between. That might be the Eddie
That's
stuff.
the Eddie stuff that he turns into a werewolf because she gets the call at the same time to come pick Eddie up and to pick her or about Herman at the same time because she goes back and forth. And I was looking at that phone and I'm like, I'd have hung up on everybody because I wouldn't have understood how the heck to do that on that phone.
They gave me one phone call. She's like, hang on, I got someone on the other line.
Yeah. I gotta go get Eddie. And then she's like, oh, you're on the TV. I have to let you go.
Yeah. He's like, oh. He's like, he hangs up. He looks at the cop. He's like, I'm on TV.
And this is where they're like talking about
The assassination attempt
and how they should arrest them all and deport them. And this is a guy, the person who's talking about this too, by the way, has no power right now. He is just running. He's just up for election. He has zero power at all. And yet he's just like, oh, we should arrest them all right now.
Well,
go arrest the Munsters, basically.
Anyone who lives in any state, regardless of level, politicians like this. So
yeah. We should arrest everybody everywhere right now.
yeah.
Let's now just go.
Roundabout.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't just the Munsters. It was all immigrants, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was using
foreigners. They
as
kept
an
saying
example.
foreigners. They never said immigrants. They always said foreigners.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's just like a derogatory term at this point in history in the 90s.
No, well, I don't know, honestly. Maybe it was the other way around, and that's why they said it this way.
Because we're all immigrants. Does it?
Yeah.
They can't really say that.
I'm so glad we're doing this movie the week of elections.
I didn't even think of that. That's awesome.
I can't wait for it to be over. I'll be honest with you.
That lined up really good. All of our episodes keep lining up pretty damn good.
They do. They really do.
Go out and vote. Or don't go out and vote. No one actually cares. Your vote don't matter.
Actually, we
Your
do
vote
care.
does
Go
matter.
vote. Yeah. Go. I don't care what you vote for. Just go do it.
What is this one? This is all like local stuff.
Local. There's some. I think it's the Senate also.
Okay.
I don't.
Right.
I just look at what I'm.
So it kind of like correlates with this one here, where we have like a guy who just appeared out of nowhere and is running for office because someone without any background is better than someone with a background, right?
Let's be real. Every year is a local election, so
yeah.
Just check out your state, see what's going on, whatever.
But
do your thing.
I understand their process of this. Like, if you have no background, that's not good.
Yeah, that's true. How are we gonna? Well, I mean, he just can't go for presidency. How are they gonna? That means they gotta fake a birth certificate there if they want to get that far.
Right. Like their plan of getting someone in the White House doesn't work because it's like, who are you going to get and where are you going to get? Like, you have to fake a bunch of documents. You have to have a birth certificate, and then if whether the journalists look into it, like they're going to be like, this person doesn't exist.
Well, that's when you just call fake news, and
that's like, this is how you get the conspiracies, man. Like, this person has never existed. They're who is this person?
All right, we are getting way off topic.
No, I'm literally talking in the show, like, or in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
we're getting away from the plot, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So the
Grandpa's solution is to make a dog Herman.
That's not his solution. He does make a dog. Like, it wasn't like theory. He just did it for no reason.
Well, no, he did it for a reason. He was going to swap them, but then he does something stupid instead and throws a ball.
Yeah. Spot is lingering in the stairs. We get that awesome scene as a throwback, which is pretty cool, when the police officer, the young buck, comes over there into is hitting on Marilyn again. And Marilyn's just like, no, no, no. It's because you see the stairs open and Spot comes out of the stairwell. So Spot must hang out in the lab too, I guess.
Yeah.
And then my next note was this is where Sherry must have taken her stuff from.
Yeah, I had that earlier in the
Dog's brain and Herman clone. So apparently Grandpa had a lot of leftover parts. So I thought this was going to be kind of like a Johan situation. And then I saw the mannerisms and I was like, oh, it's barking. No, please don't. And then, but you also see the bottle in Grandpa's hand because he has it off to the side and it just says dog brains.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. So
And
my notes stop from here until the end confrontation at the rally.
Yeah.
So
so that's where I'm pretty much at anyways. Like Grandpa
they throw to get Herman out though, because I remember it. I don't have anything written down, but I remember he instead of just swapping them, he throws the ball like Herman's trying to escape, and the dog Herman busts through the wall, and the cops chase down the real Herman anyway.
Yeah, in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that whole plan didn't work out for you.
Well, how else were they supposed to get out of the police station? I think was the thing was they were going to chase that Herman out.
Yeah, but
while
didn't
they
work.
could get out. It partially worked because they still got out of the building because everyone was trying to catch the other Herman. So they freed up the space and everything to get out of there.
This was very reminiscent of Munster's Revenge when Grandpa and Herman were in jail.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like they did a lot of jail stuff in here again. Like they tackle certain pieces here and there. Like you get the old country, the jail, a weird dumb plot line.
Oh, there's a dog. Yeah. So yeah, I forget how they get away, but I think the Munster coach is just faster.
Well, they turn it into like a an Amish type carrier thing eventually, because they end up having the Amish beards and stuff like that. And
I completely missed this scene.
Yeah,
I really need to rewatch this now. That sounds great.
Yeah, they end up being Amish, I guess, is what the best way to state it as.
Oh, that's all. Okay. Yeah, so when the family gets back together and they're like, "How we gonna, what are we gonna do about this? We gotta fix him." They get the antidote to the transformation from Grandpa, the blood.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're gonna go to the rally and I guess start a revolt."
Yeah, they have to dig a tunnel through there, and then we get everybody has their own thing that they're doing.
Yeah, Lily drinks blood is my first note.
Not only does she drink blood, she bites somebody to drink blood to knock them out.
Yeah, that person is now her ghoul, right? That's how that works.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote
like
that
the
down.
Blood cookies.
Lily bites to knock people out. Eddie just needs to see a full moon to have his transformation, so he uses a beach ball moon.
Yeah, I thought that was incredibly clever.
And he has to throw it up in the air.
Throws it up in the air and stares at it.
Yeah. And then they have their Herman and Grandpa are trying to get into the stage. And they have a little like, oh, are you guys part of the green party? Because they're green. But I also like that because,
Al Lewis was around this. He either was at this point or was about to. It was late 90s.
Yeah. Which it really would have been interesting to see them do like a thing where like it wasn't just Brent Jekyll, but you did have like Al Lewis running.
That's the green part. Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Missed opportunity, but it was also a made for TV thing. Yeah. So then it was, let me see here. They throw the dart or whatnot to get Brent Jekyll, but they miss and get the band organizer who turns into Elvis.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy moly, it was crazy.
This whole ending is weird,
And
but I
then
loved it.
they end up getting up on stage, and they get like pulled over to the side, like they're arrested or they're captured or whatnot.
Mhm.
And Mr. Jekyll gets the crowd to like uh revolt, like hate them. Like he's building this anger mob up. A very it, he's building the anger in the crowd so that they'll be like, yes, hate them, blah blah blah. And then we get like the kill them going, and I'm just like, wait, what? Like, and because you gotta wonder, is it just these two they want to kill now, or are they talking about all foreigners? And then you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this got
Yeah.
dark really fast. um and
And unfortunately, this is how
Grandpa,
things like this kind of start. You
yeah,
got,
yeah, yeah, things start all
like,
the time by stupid people saying stupid things. But
yeah, and
grandpa
evolves over time into
yeah
something worse.
grandpa tried to stop them by throwing a magical thingy with some type of thing. I don't know what the heck that he was supposed to stop do, but he ends up turning them all into like villagers and stuff, like old
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
villagers. So they have pitchforks and all that crap. And that's when they start chanting the kill them, kill them, kill them. And I was just like, wow, I can see that happening. um
Grandpa with his magic making things worse.
and then grandpa tosses another magic cube over uh at one of the bigger police chief guy, turning him into a rat, a little white rat. And my question is, it is grandpa's magic, but is he ever going to turn back normal?
That's a very good question.
Because I
Um,
feel the only person who really deserved to be turned into a rat would have been the campaign manager.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the campaign manager has a family though too. So I'm like, are we not thinking
Well, that
about
just means there's somebody to take care of the kid, right?
right? Is your wife alive? Yes, then there's someone else to take care of the kid.
Oh, this is so
Wanda.
dark. I just watched that Halloween episode again. Like, shit, that show was good. Uh, yeah, and the way they stopped the campaign manager too, of Lily just sneaking over and turning the microphone back on.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he not hear the reverb? Or
I mean, it might be the speakers are out that far and they just don't. You can do that. There's
okay,
some times where you just can't hear yourself on the speakers,
yeah, you've worked
especially
with
in the
that
heat of the
stuff way
moment.
more than I ever will. So
Well, also, Brent Jekyll's a dumbass. Like
yeah, that's true too.
he doesn't know anything. He only says what he's told to say and do. It's not like he has any free will or anything like this in this movie. Like he's literally a puppet,
Yeah.
honestly. So
Uh, but when they finally get the antidote back to Norm, and he comes back out, he's like,
Norm
no.
Liebman.
Oh my god.
You didn't catch that one?
No, that's clever. All right. Uh yeah, he's like he's a weird kooky guy.
Yeah.
It's like the potion, like Jekyll and Hyde, it changes his mental state and not
Hmm.
just his physical appearance. And so we find out he's not, because even the manager's like, no, 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 you're still Jekyll. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. He suddenly becomes like Grandpa from The Simpsons almost. Or, not Grandpa, but like Krusty. Hey, everybody.
So I am curious for the names because you have Norman Hyde and
Mhm.
Elsa Hyde, as in like Norm Liebman and Ezra Mill, or not Miller.
That's a stretch, dude. That's a stretch.
No, it's almost spelled the same.
Elsa. It's not the same as Ezra.
I mean, you got to change it up a little bit. It's not like they did like Ezra Mosier. Like
I could believe Mosier or Norm,
Normally,
but
yeah.
I don't know about that. Was there someone named Bob?
Bob House. No, I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you
I
soak
don't
on
see
that.
it. So,
Okay, let's go. Continue. You were
oh,
talking.
yeah. My next thing is the dancing scene. So, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. Norm being weird.
Yeah,
Uh, he's like,
he's a kooky guy. He
yeah,
reminds
he
me
is.
of Billy Crystal in Brides. What is that called? Oh, fuck. Why am I so stupid today?
Because it's
Uh,
early.
a Brides.
We're
Oh,
doing
what is
this
it?
earlier than we normally
People
do.
people are gonna kill me for this one. Uh,
What's it? I'll look it up.
the Princess Bride. That's what it is.
Okay.
It reminds me of Billy Crystal in The Princess Bride, the guy who has to bring back. You've never seen The Princess Bride, have you?
The Princess Bride? I want to say I have, but I know zero. I remember zero.
With like, I'm trying to remember an actor in there that you might remember. Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I know he's in it. I
Yeah,
remember.
but he
I
reminds me of Billy Crystal's character in that movie. That's all. Anyways,
yeah.
moving on. Yeah, so we go back to the Munsters' house where we learn that one, the campaign manager got away. He has like a pack of dynamite. He sneaks in the spots area. He's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, this is a good spot."
because it literally says
It says
spot.
spot on the door, and then he goes in there, and of course he blows up.
Does he blow up or does Spot eat him and it blows up in Spot's stomach?
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't he fall out? I thought he came back out.
I don't remember, honestly. I don't
I
think we
thought
saw him again.
I thought he came back out and he just disappeared. Because he has a family, Tivis, man. You can't kill a family, man. This is still the Munsters.
They killed a mail carrier. He probably had a family.
And then we get the Munsters are inside talking, and we find out this is how they're getting the house. Basically, is they're gonna watch the house for the hides because they're dipping out and going over doing a trip around the world, and we get to see some of the places
Oh,
they're
yeah, that's
going.
something we didn't mention. The fact that the only reason they're even in this whole mess in the first place is because they need a sponsor to stay in America for their green card, their visa.
Yeah,
And now that Herman's working, though, he might be able to get a working visa and not need a sponsor anymore. But
yeah, I
yeah,
can see that. But yeah, so we get that. They ask us Marilyn's going. Marilyn's not going. She ends up going off with the little police officer guy, and they're all so happy about it. And yeah, and they get the house, and everyone's outside dancing.
yes, they are. We got Herman and Lily, Grandpa, and the freaky neighbor. Or no, he's dancing with the nosy neighbor, not the freaky
Yeah,
one.
which I think he just turned her into a slave. Like, there's no
Mockingbird
way
style.
that is the neighbor that he would be dancing with. I just don't see that.
Yeah. Eddie's dancing with the French student. Yeah, the only one not there is Marilyn with the cop.
Well, yeah, they went on a date.
Yeah, but I mean, with this cheesy ending, you could still see them coming from off screen. That's the end of my notes right there. This movie is crazy, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed the hell out of it.
This was definitely a good one. As far as seeing other people playing these actors too, or not these actors, seeing other actors playing these characters. There we go. I was definitely into it. I enjoyed the way it is. Like just seeing Grandpa though in the pictures, I was like, I don't know about that. But when you actually hear him talking and stuff like that, you actually fall for it. Like I enjoyed it. Um, I will. It will be interesting to see because we have one more iteration in the film world to watch, which is their Christmas movie,
Yeah,
and
which
then we
the fact that the nosy neighbor carries over makes me think that it's in the same
universe or timeline.
setting.
Okay. Um.
So that's interesting. Kind of because in the '90s we had a lot like Batman was changing every other movie at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not unheard of.
Well, we also had like I mean, even the Adams Family. You had the two Adams Family movies. Then there was like the new Adams Family or whatever the TV show was on like Fox or whatnot. And then like you had the random movies and stuff, and they were just changing everybody out. Casper did it too.
Yeah, Adam's Family
So
had to though because the one Gomez passed away.
yeah, yeah. They didn't have to recast everybody though.
No, well, yeah, that's true, but
Well, I mean, I guess some of them were getting older, like the kids were getting older and stuff. So yeah, but their budgets also went down too, so they weren't going to afford some of those names. Um, so as far
oh,
as the
let me
go
do
on,
my trivia before we give our thoughts. I only
okay,
have one, so it'll be quick. Edward Herman, he is known as a classic film and TV car enthusiast. So he was not only fans of the Munsters to begin with, but he said it was a thrill to be able to drive the coach.
yeah, I
So
bet.
it was a dream come true for him all around.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We didn't see the
Dracula.
Dragula though. That would have been
Yeah,
cool
we
to see
haven't
too.
since the movie or the first movie we watched. Munster Go Home.
Yeah, yeah. But I figure Butch Patrick's here. Maybe he had it at that
Yeah.
point, but he probably didn't have it back in the '90s. I'm not sure.
I'm curious. I'm pretty sure it turns up in Munsters today, but I'm not 100%. So I'll be curious to see in what
What car they have.
capacity. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious. I'm just interested to watch that show because I've never seen it and I want to watch it to see. It's going to be hard to talk about these like as we get further and further away in not just decades but also like from the original series. Like I don't want to keep comparing it to that. I want to be able to be like it had these moments for it, but it was still good for what it is, and things like that. This I really enjoyed this film. Here Come the Munsters. It was a great film. I enjoyed it. I did not hate anything about it, and yeah. So I I don't know what else to say besides the shit I've already said. The storyline was, you have these weird, crazy, almost like a Scooby Doo kind of villain. Again,
Yeah.
we got to do this
I'm
to take control.
constantly comparing this to Scooby Doo, and it's not a
Yeah,
coincidence. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, I thought this is going in my Halloween rotation permanently. It's just great. Like even though it barely has anything to do with Halloween, it feels perfect for the setting.
yeah. It was supposed to be for their Halloween episode too, because it came out on Halloween Day, and I'm
Mhm.
like, there wasn't
Introduced by the
really.
Crypt Keeper again.
Yeah, it wasn't really anything about Halloween for it besides it just being the monsters characters.
Yeah, and
Um
early in the show referencing that it's Halloween season.
Halloween season, yeah.
Going into
That's about
election
it.
season. Oh my god, it makes sense. Duh. America. So this movie takes place over like a week and a half then.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how long Herman was in jail for then. Um So yeah, it was really interesting to see them tackle that issue though, because especially after you told me, the immigration stuff was going on hardcore then, because I was a kid then. I didn't pay attention to none of that stuff. I didn't give a crap. I still don't give a crap. Like, to be fully honest, I don't give a crap. But it was interesting to see them tackle it in the way that they did too, where it's very subtle too. Like, if you're not paying attention about it, like that all the characters who are considered quote unquote foreigners or immigrants or whatever are shown in like this way of like, yeah, this is great. Like, this country is good. This is, we're here. We want to be like everyone else here. And it's really cool to see that because, like you have the TSA agent and the Gateman, Goodberry and Graves driver.
Ralph.
You have the what?
Ralph.
I mean, even Lily is trying to emulate American culture into their life, like almost instantaneously and stuff. And you just see it in all the different characters that they show. And it's really cool to see for that time, because honestly, it works for today still. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. This came out in 95. We're 2022, so
we're closing in on 30 years.
27 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, and a little sad, but
it's sad and crazy. But I mean, the best content out there will tackle issues that can still be prevalent, unfortunately. Because unfortunately,
yeah, we don't change. Nothing changes. Everything's stagnant.
Everybody thinks they change just because things are talked about more, but that's not change. You actually have to change, instead of just talking about it. So, what did you think? I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Let me ask you something. Let me tell you. Let me ask you. Let me. You don't get that joke. That's the podcaster thing. Like, let me tell you something. Let me ask you. How about this? What do you think about? Let me ask you this. Now, what do you think about this?
I listen to a ton of podcasts, and none of them talk like that. I don't know what you're on about.
Interviewers. How about that? Dumbass interviewers. It's a comedy thing. It's from a skit I saw before. So what did you think about the portrayal of Eddie Munster in this? Because I have some words, and I'd like to hear yours.
I feel like he was underrepresented, but I feel like Marilyn got a bit more of the spotlight than she normally does, so I kind of feel like it may have been a trade-off a little bit.
She was also coming up in her career too, that actress.
And it was what I say, this is his first acting credit or something like that, or second acting credit, so he's relatively new. But I also think it might be an issue with some scripts. When you got too many main characters, some of them fall by the wayside just because you gotta let some things go. I wish they had done a little more with him. I thought there was some more interesting stuff, especially with him and the bully aspect.
Okay.
I thought for sure the bully was going to turn out to be the kid that Herman scared, but no, it was a different kid entirely.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he did a fine job as Eddie, but again, we didn't really see a whole lot of him, so
yeah,
it's hard to say for sure.
His storyline was mostly at school, and we didn't really see a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Now, when he would go into beast mode,
werewolf mode,
beast mode, he reminded me a lot of Happy Durman when he portrayed Eddie in the pilot episode.
Yeah, I could see that. More werewolf than boy.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool to see, because I felt like maybe they took from the pilot possibly at that time to do
I
that.
mean, it's pretty clear that the Mockingbird took inspiration from this movie, because this is the first time we've got confirmation that Eddie is in fact a werewolf,
Yeah.
other than just promotional material. So
First confirmation of that. The first time you see Grandpa drink blood. Well, granted, we don't know what happens in Munsters today, but still,
that's true. That show did come before
before
this.
this.
The
But
first time we have seen it.
yeah,
Let
20
me.
years later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely got those vibes from the pilot being utilized for Eddie's character in here. He was really angry the whole time though. Like he kind of had like a chip on his shoulder of being like
I kind
that.
of chalked that up to him being slightly older,
Okay.
because we all got mood swings for a couple years as we age, and then we mellow out and regret how we treated certain family members.
Yeah. Now you think though he would be as he's a little older, he would be cognitive of not transforming. Like they're showing pictures of a moon. My man, like just turn. Like so you don't turn, in class.
You'd think, but I don't know. It was his first day of school, so
But was it his first day of school? Because we don't really have a timeline here. Like you said, this
that's
movie probably
true.
took place over 2 weeks.
No, not too. Uh, at most, it was like a week and a half.
Oh yeah, because election. Yeah, that's right. The election was coming. Um,
Because I've
okay.
had, when I turned 18, election day was on my birthday, so
Okay.
and that's not far after Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hell, I can't believe election is coming up now, and we did this for the election week. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
So what did you think about the character of, not the character, sorry, the plot that for the Jekyll and the shit like that, like the political takeover, I guess you would say, without getting too much into like real world shit. Like let's avoid that.
Reasonable to ask from me. I thought it was, my opinions are kind of skewed with my beliefs, obviously, but
Yeah.
I thought it was done pretty well. I was actually shocked at how aggressive it was. Maybe because I was a kid in the 90s and I didn't realize how charged it was versus what we see today. But, for the story of Jekyll, it was an interesting one to turn him into a politician.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool because like generally the Jekyll Hyde thing is,
Jekyll is more of a force of destruction than like a.
no, that's Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is like
Hyde
is the Hulk version basically. And
oh my god, it didn't even hit me. They did it in reverse.
Yeah, they did it in reverse.
Oh,
that's what I was getting to. So
no,
they reversed
that didn't even
it.
register with me now. Okay, yeah, that is, yeah, because he's a Munster.
Yeah, because he's a Munster, one, and two. Whether at least this is how I took it, are normal, everyday, real people monsters look normal. The people that are bad really do just look normal. Like,
yeah,
you really don't see them. I mean, like, look at like some of the, even just the famous serial killers. A lot of them are normal.
That's more your area of expertise,
but like just like they're normal people. They're normal looking people. Anyways,
what was the one guy everyone loved him? The famous one that was like nobody suspected anything, that he had like bodies in his basement.
John Wayne Gacy.
Maybe
he had like 30 some bodies on his property.
Yeah, or the we mentioned I'm from the Toledo area. We the guy that created one of the stores around here was like chopping people up and throwing their bodies along the highway, and no one suspected a thing.
Yeah. There was also the one guy.
Was it Appliance Center? He founded.
Yes, it was the appliance center in that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, even like mainstream, where a lot more people would know Ted Bundy. Even
That was the name I was thinking of. Yeah, the
he
guy I
was
confused with Married with Children.
yeah, he was going through court, and the women just didn't believe that he was even though he was like being accused, like had proof and all that shit. People were just like, yeah, he didn't do this. Like, there's no way he did this because of how he looked. They in the news reports and stuff, when you watch it, you're
Mhm.
always hearing them talk about his looks. Like the girls would always swoon over his looks and be like, oh yeah, I'd hook up with him and these things. And I'm just like, you'd hook up with him and then you'd be buried in some ditch somewhere, dude. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, these people are crazy. But no, I really grasped that aspect of like, one, they flipped the Jekyll Hyde, and two, the Jekyll was the more like the beast that you really don't see coming.
Yeah.
Which also politician, you really don't see the evil coming. Well, I mean, nowadays we start to, you open your eyes a little bit more, but
Yeah, just in general, if it's a politician, it's bad. It doesn't matter what side they support.
and if you're a politician out there listening, hey, we love you. Keep listening, but also we don't.
I
love
probably
you.
don't. Third party, take down the two. Yeah, all right.
So,
That's enough for me.
anyways, I yeah, I really appreciated that aspect of the Jekyll Hyde storyline because you never really see the reverse, you know.
Yeah, no, yeah, because
And
I mean,
yeah,
aside from the story, the classic story of him, the
yeah,
only other one I was familiar with is the Marvel version, and so
that's Hulk.
no, no, it's Daisy's dad.
I know, but Hulk is also taken from the Jekyll and Hyde story too.
Well, yes, he is, especially early on.
Yeah, he's just not given the name, but yes, for
Where he
like
could
Agents
fly.
of Shield, yeah. Um,
I bet you guys, most listeners don't know that the Hulk could fly for a bit.
Yeah. But they also did a really good version of him in a very underrated film called The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is the basically
Oh, yeah, based on the comic.
it's basically Avengers. It's like literally like the first Avengers film done
Yeah.
like way before. It's crazy if you go and watch that movie and see it like side to side with the original Avengers film. It goes into it, but I digress again. Anyways, it was a really good showing of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. Didn't you say that you have you saw when you doing the we did the Frankenstein, which if anyone hasn't checked that out, go the silent Frankenstein film we put on YouTube. It's really fascinating. Didn't you say that Jekyll and Hyde was on that list?
That they actually took a Jekyll and Hyde story into that one.
Well, I know in the Frankenstein it was very much, but I thought there was like a silent one that because I'd be interested in checking that out if there was.
If there is, I'll find it. I didn't look into it honestly, but I'm sure there is a Jekyll and Hyde story.
Okay. Yeah, check it out. Check out our YouTube. You know, you might see more of that in the future because I'd be down.
Definitely. And as far as anything else goes with Here Come the Munsters, you got anything else to say, dude, about it?
This is just really fun. Honestly, if people are liking this but hate Rob Zombie, I don't know what you're looking for because they felt like the same amount of fun to me.
Yeah. Definitely they both like grasped the heart of the original with the same like, you know, stupid little gags and jokes and stuff like that. Like you even get Herman like smashing his hands on every desk he's by in this one.
Oh yeah. Oh, we pretty much get the same exact scene when the cops are interrogating him and he starts slamming his hands down and laughing. It's almost identical to what Jeff did in that movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you like this, if you don't like Rob Zombies, yeah, I really just don't or if you don't like either of these, honestly, like you said, I just don't know what people were looking for with
Yeah.
a Munsters continuation. Like at that point, just stop watching anything Munsters that isn't the original show, because nothing's going to appease you.
But
We've said it multiple times too. You're never going to get the same stuff that you had with the original cast. Ever. Never, ever. Even movies these days get the original cast to their sequels, and they're not as good. Like, it just doesn't work.
I, for one, would love to hear from everyone, though. What did you think about this film? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What worked? What didn't? You can email us.
Yep. At TheMunsterCast at Outlook.com.
Yeah.
And
Or
go on.
send us an email. You can leave. We even have themonstercast.com. There's a little microphone icon. You can send us a voicemail. We could even play your opinion on the show if you want.
Yeah, definitely. And you can also just comment on the video version at the MunsterCast YouTube channel, or you can find us on all social medias and let us know your opinions on everything like that. We did get a comment on our last video, I believe it was. Let me go and double check that. I am sorry, I don't have this pulled up at the exact second. My computer's been a pain in the butt lately. So we apologize.
Well, while you're doing that, again, I want to reiterate, this movie was a lot of fun. I think people will enjoy it just because it is the characters, and like even with the messaging in the story aside, I think it's just an interesting retrospective on how they came to America in this version of the story.
Definitely. I can't find the comment. Doesn't look like it's showing. But somebody said something about Mockingbird Lane. I swore I just commented on it too. I thought it was on YouTube, but apparently it's not showing up right there at this exact second. About how it was a good fan film, basically, is what they considered it, but definitely not the Munsters in heart for sure.
I got it.
But yeah. Oh god.
Oh boy.
Was it on YouTube or was it on Facebook?
Yes, it's from 2 days ago.
You don't need to say the last names.
From Nice. I have never watched this particular show.
Nope, that's not the comment.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Never mind then.
No, it was not the comment. There was another one that I replied to last night. I don't remember if it was on Facebook, Instagram, what. But you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all via the MunsterCast, and YouTube via the MunsterCast YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/at the MunsterCast, and that's a direct link to get to our YouTube channel, guys. Everything else you can find on the MunsterCast.com website. There we have everything showing videos and all that fun stuff. You can also go ahead and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We are grateful for all of those reviews, comments, and everything on any podcast streaming service that you use. And this week, guys, I do want to give, I've been forgetting, Tivis, to give out a recommendation for
I know you have
a movie. And I want to start doing that again. So because I already brought it up, I guess I will just give the recommendation to go and watch The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen from 2005, I believe it was. I'm looking it up at the exact second to give you the exact date. 2003, sorry. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen from 2003, and it stars Sean Connery, and I believe it was his last live action film. Like, he retired after this movie. It gets a lot of hate, or it did get a lot of hate, but it is a really good film. And if you like the Avengers film, you will like this, especially if you like any of the literary characters out there. I just have to always state that, like, there's more in literature than just comic book characters, people. So definitely go out and check out The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the 2003 film.
Or
really good.
The graphic novel.
Or read the graphic novel. or do both. And the connection with the Munsterverse would be, of course, I said Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde's in it. You have vampires and all these other fun things are showing up in the movie. So
that's what I thought. It is an Alan Moore story. So.
Yeah. Any final words to this about any the movie or anything that you want to let the fans know or anything like that?
Just remember that we will be taking a break come December for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
We have a movie that we're ending the month with, and stay tuned to our socials for what's in between that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely do that, guys. And we appreciate y'all. And with that said, guys, we will catch you next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.